Hey, in today's video we're going to learn how to replace a rotten kitchen sink bottom. Hey, this is Marco from Bama Handyman Solution. Let's jump into it. If you experience a rotten kitchen sink bottom, then it's probably time to replace it, and that's exactly what we're going to do today. We do that step by step. So first thing what we're going to do is we're gonna cut out the old piece, then we manufacture a new piece with different material, and then we're gonna install that new bottom and seal everything, and we hand it back to the customer. All right, let's go and have a look how it looks like. So here we are, kitchen sink bottom. So we can clearly see this is a hole in it, a nice hard chewed out by, I would say, mouse, rat or whatever. So anyway, this is a particle board, so it's very soft, or let's say when it comes in contact with water it starts to swell and then eventually rot and break. So what we're going to do is we're gonna take that board out. We wanna take the board out along the edges, and we can use an oscillator tool with the blade, with the wood blade, or I use here a bimetal blade, so I also can cut through nails if there are any. And then once that is taken out, we're gonna clean the area, build a substructure, and that's about it for now. Let's have a look how we're gonna do that. So a little bit up front here we have to be careful, because we're gonna save the cabinet, what do I call that? The cabinet frame, the face frame. So most likely there are Brat Nails from the front, so we have to try to pry it off. Pre-manufacture basically the new floor, the new cabinet bottom, and then I will bring it over and then we put it in. So what we're gonna do today is we take measurements, so to make sure we can put it back, maybe we even able to slide it inside, and then we're gonna make a cut in the middle. So we have to make two pieces actually, and then put them inside, and then once that is in here, we have to cover up the joint, but we're gonna make the joint behind that crossbar so it's not really noticeable. All right, let's take the measurements. So we clean that out and get that ready when we come back with the new piece. Back in the shop where we're gonna go and cut those pieces to size. I already set up the table saw here, and let's talk about the materials quickly. So one material we can use to fabricate the bottom, the cabinet bottom, is basically an OSB sheet. So what OSB itself is not waterproof, or at least not 100% waterproof. So we then can add a layer of this wall paneling. So this is kind of a vinyl, I think it's 1/16 thick. We could cut that to size and then put on top of the OSB, glue it onto the OSB and then seal the edges. But instead we're going to use a plywood. Instead we can use plywood. That's what we're going to use. This is 1/2 inch of plywood, and this has a UV coat on top of it, so it is already sealed, waterproof, and this looks much better than using the vinyl. So you can see there's one side which is raw, and then the other side has this UV coat on it, and this is basically already watertight, and that's what we're going to use. Cut that to size, and then we're gonna bring it to the job site and install it. All right, stay tuned. All right, so there's one thing we have to make sure that we have the smooth side, this side up. Okay, so on that, the reason for that is because we don't want to have any tear outs on the visible side, and since the blade is spinning towards us, basically we will not have any tear outs. I already measured the distance from the blade to my fence, which is around 17.5 inches. That would be right in the middle. I'll make 2 cut out of this piece. That's a leftover piece from another job I had, so it comes in handy. So we got nice two sheets. Well, as you can see, the cuts. Let me see if you can see it. Well, we got this side. The cuts are very clean, and we have a little bit, very little tear out on the underside, which really doesn't matter because we cannot see it. All right, so that's it for the shop. All right, so we are back now in the kitchen. We're gonna install our pre-cut bottom, and what they're gonna do first, so you can build out a base first before you put that in, but because we already have a groove here where our plywood can sit, as well as we have a support here up front, we have one on the left hand side and one on the back, so I'm only framing back here, putting in here a piece of pine cut to size, so I basically support the back and the front, and then we have a piece in the middle where I have 2 legs just to make sure it doesn't sag in the middle. So, and how am I gonna attach that? So either you can use a wood screw, or I'm gonna use a combination of just regular glue, and then I'm using a Brat nailer. So the glue will eventually do the job, but the Brat nails are just there to put it in place for now. And because it's particle board, it's, you know, it's not really, you know, the screws are not really biting well, so I just use some glue. And this is a permanent, that stays permanent, so nobody needs to remove that anyway. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that done. So that should do the job. It's solid, doesn't move. So we don't want to use too long Brat nails because we don't really know what's in the back. So we probably here in the back there's some plumbing, so we don't want to make sure we don't hit by accident the plumbing. So that's why I put the Brat nails far enough away so we don't get any issues here. And of course we don't want to use too long Brat nails as well. Okay, So I marked, so what I also did, I tapered the edges, so that should help getting that inside a little bit better. And I had to cut it in half, as you can see, otherwise I would not be able to, you know, to go inside, and that plumbing is in the way, and you know, there's a lot of factors to consider. Anyway, moving on. So the first piece, as you can see, it's pretty tight, but that's what we want. We want to have it tight and snug. So that's about it, and I think we don't need a really support in the middle. We join those together and seal it, so that will work pretty well. So now, as you can see, we have a little bit of a gap here, but that's because the whole thing is out of square. It's not a big deal. We just apply sealant anyway, and we apply seal here in the middle once we join that nicely here, so we can close that gap very well. Just give 2 Brat Nails and then we should be good. We don't want to glue it, because if we glue that seam here, then the next person has a hard time to getting it out. So I think we just apply some silicone at the very end. So let me, maybe we already put some silicone in it now. Just wedge that open just a little bit. So, and I just use sealant, something like that. And I use almond here. I think the color will match pretty good. But I think that's the closest color I could get. So here we go. Now I just apply a sealant here in the middle too. And I do that this will be basically very well waterproofed. I just put it in here. Basically, this is in a nutshell how you can easily replace a cabinet bottom. We know which got wet from a leaking drain faucet. So just recap quickly, we used plywood with the UV protection on top of it. So you find that on your local hardware store. And I showed you about the alternative with the vinyl. 1/16 vinyl you could use over plywood or OSB, who does not have UV protection. And then basically we measure, cut it to size. If necessary, we create a little base where it sits on, but because this one already had a base in the front, we only needed to build a base in the back. And after that, fitting it in, it was just caulking or using a silicone based sealant. And that's about it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe to the channel if you not already have. And if you have any comments, please leave them below. Let me know what you think. Appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Bye.